In this video, we're going to set up two Linodes, one running a Node application that handles incoming web traffic, and the other running our database, secured behind our virtual private cloud or VPC solution. Now, if you haven't heard of a VPC or need a quick refresher, I made this little video a while ago. Check it out here. Now, as I said, in this setup, there's going to be two Linodes on a shared VPC. Our Node application will be public facing, and it will accept incoming requests and serve HTML. Then our database instance will only respond to requests from our Node application and won't have access to the public internet. The question is, why would you want to add a setup like this to your business? The answer is pretty simple: security. Configuring your infrastructure in this way helps protect your most precious asset, your data. It does so by limiting your attack surface and thereby limiting the exposure of your database to unknown exploits and zero-day attacks. And if you want to follow along, you can use the link below to get a free credit when you sign up for your new Akamai account. Now, let's get into it. All right, the first thing you want to do is set up a VPC. So let's log into the cloud dashboard, and we're going to click Create. And then we're going to select VPC here from the list. Now, from here, we're going to choose a region for this VPC to live. You have to keep in mind that your VPC and the compute instances must live in the same region as each other. VPCs cannot span across multiple regions. For our purposes, I'm going to choose Chicago here. Now we're going to give our VPC a label. I'm going to call this virtual cloud. Now we're going to give our subnet a label. I'm going to call this Mongo because I'm going to be running MongoDB on this. You can label yours however you'd like. All right, now let's set up our first compute instance. Let's click Create again and then choose Linode. Now I'm going to choose Debian 11, and it's going to be living in Chicago alongside our VPC. This is going to be a shared 1 GB plan. For our purposes, that's going to be more than enough for this demo. For this demo, I'm going to gloss over the rest of this except for the VPC heading here. I'm going to make sure that we assign virtual cloud to this Linode as well as our Mongo subnet. All right, now we're going to scroll down to the bottom here and we're going to click Create Linode. Now we're almost done with our infrastructure. I'm going to set up another Linode here. I'm going to call this one Database, and I'm going to use all of the same options as before. All right, flash forward a few minutes. The Linodes are done provisioning, so let's get them set up here. First, I'm going to click the LISH console button for our database. I'm just going to quickly install the MongoDB Community Edition repository on our database Linode, and then I'm going to install it. Once that's done, we just need to tell Mongo to listen on our VPC interface. So let's type in nano/etc/mongodb-conf, and then we're going to hit enter. This will allow us to edit MongoDB's configuration file. Let's find bind IP address and change it from 127.0.0.1 to the IP address of our VPC network. In this case, it's going to be 10.0.0.3. You can find this when you're looking at the network tab of your Linode. Under type, you should see IPv4 VPC, and the IP address will be in the leftmost column. Now let's save this configuration. So we're going to hit Control S here, and then we're going to quit by pressing Control X. Let's also make sure that we set up a username and password for the Mongo database. Our last step is to restart MongoDB. And we're going to do that by typing in systemctl restart mongodb.service and hit enter. And it looks like it's good to go now. All right, now that we have Mongo installed on our database Linode, let's shut it off. All right, now that it's off, let's go to configurations. We're going to go to edit. We're going to scroll down to VPC, and then we're going to uncheck this box, assign a public IPv4 address for this Linode. Then we're going to scroll down and hit Save Changes. What this is going to do is it will disable access to the public internet from this device now that we have it configured, because it doesn't need public internet access anymore. All right, now let's go back to our Node instance in the cloud dashboard and click the LISH console button. We'll use this command to download Node and initialize a project. For this demo, we'll need MongoDB, so let's get that installed from npm as well. Now, and finally, I'll mount this project directory on my local machine using SSHFS so that I can use VS Code to write the code for this project. But before we get into the actual coding process, I do want to ask you to drop a like on that like button there. We have new videos every week here on Akamai Developer, so get subscribed so you don't miss them. All right, so check this out. We've got our Mongo project here. We have our packages installed. This is not a how-to guide. This is more of a proof of concept to show you how to actually set up your applications to run in this kind of configuration. So the first thing we want to do is actually get our Mongo client. This is the middleware that communicates with MongoDB. And then we're going to require HTTP, and we're going to require query string as well. Now, the first major stuff that we're going to do, we're going to just set our database to be set to demo. We're going to set our collection to users. Our database is equivalent to something you'd find in an SQL database, and collection is going to be equivalent to a table, roughly. And we're going to set our client to just live outside of our main application here. All right, let's do async function main. All right, so we're gonna do const URI equals, and we're gonna set it equal to our MongoDB URL here. To break this down, we have MongoDB : that's our scheme that we're using. And then we have our username, our password, and then we have the @ symbol, which represents the domain that we're connecting to. In this case, it's going to be the IP address on our VPC of our MongoDB database. Next, we're going to set up our client here. So we're going to say client equals new Mongo client. We're going to say URI. And that's just going to connect us to the database. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try and connect the client. So we're going to do await client.connect. And we can say console.log connected to client. And now we have a solid database connection running. I'm going to try to avoid semicolons as much as possible because I know that'll irritate some people. But what we're going to do now is we're going to catch any errors that we receive, and we're going to console.error those. We're going to say console.error E. And so if we have an issue connecting to our database, then we're going to error that out on the console. So we need to put in main here, of course. We're going to click on this. We're going to go to LISH console. Connect to the client. Boom. There we go. We have our Node application running. But we don't have a server actually listening for incoming connections. So we're going to close that out. And we're going to go back here and we're going to add that. So let's go const server equals http.create server. And then we're going to do this as an async request or an async function here. And we're going to go request response. Let's just say response write head 200. And then we're going to say content type text /HTML. And then let's also output a form. We're going to put a form on this page here. So let's say const HTML equals, and I've written just a little bit of HTML here. And we'll close the body tag. And we'll close the HTML tag. Fonts.end HTML. And then let's do server.listen 3000. All right, let's go to our web browser. We're going to go to our Linode. We're going to copy our IP address. We'll paste that in and hit 3:3000. That ought to respond. It didn't because we're not running the server. So let's go into here and do node index.js. Connect to the client. Boom. There we go. Look at that. We can put in a username. We can give it an authentication type, and we can submit. So now what we want to do is just show database information with each request. That means that every time our Node application receives a request, it's going to actually ask for information from the database and then add that into the HTML and send it back. So let's go back to our code here. So let's do this. Let's go pre, and then we're going to say await list databases. Now we don't have this function, so let's make it real quick. Async function list databases. Now we're going to say let database list equal await client.db admin list databases. And then we're going to say let dbs equal a string. And then we'll say database list dot databases dot for each db, it should be dbs, plus equals, and then we'll just put the name in here, db.name, and then we'll put a new line in. Then we'll return dbs. And now we can actually see, let's give that the right name. So now we have, we're gonna show the list of databases on our web page. So if we go back here to our site, we can see if we refresh the page. Now, here we go. We have our database examples. So we have admin, we have config, and we have local, which are part of like the typical MongoDB setup. But then we have completely offline example DB, and we have demo. I've done this before. So now we're getting information from our database here. And our database is living on this Linode. And you can see if we go into our network, we go down here, you can see we are not connected to the wider internet. In fact, if I launch the LISH console and I say ping google.com, it is not going to return with any pings. I can even say ping 1.1.1.1, and it is not going to return any results because there is no internet connection on this device. That is what we want. We don't want this publicly facing the web. What we want is a virtual private cloud, hence the name of the product that we're offering. So this Linode is completely disconnected from the internet. No packets were able to get through because we're on a VPC here. So I'm just going to expand this script a little bit. So essentially what we're doing is we are, on every request, we are grabbing the entries from the database, we're looping through them, turning them into a JSON string, and then we are writing them into HTML and responding with that. We're getting these entries just by calling this function here. Now if we go back here, nothing's going to change because of course we have to restart the application again. And now you can see we have a couple users preloaded in here. We have G Bryant, hey, that's me, user, and then we have Darren, who is an admin, and we have Tawny, who is a user. But what if I want to actually use this form to add new users? That's pretty easy to do as well. But now what we want to do is actually accept post requests, and then we want to take that post data and turn it into a database entry. So in order to do that, let's first write a quick and dirty parser. I don't recommend doing it this way. What we're going to do here is parse our post data, and then we're going to add an add entry function here. So this is going to add an entry into our database. So this is basically the same idea, right? We're going to take our data and we're going to insert that data into our database. Now what we need to do is go up here to our where we're creating our server, and we need to discriminate between if this is a post or a GET request. And I think what will make this a little bit easier is if I just kind of quickly rewrite this. Yeah, I'm going to turn this into its own function. One second. All right, so when we're getting a GET request, this is just going to output the form data. If it's a post request, we're actually going to handle the incoming request, and then we're going to add that to our database, and then we're going to show the form data. We're going to await that add entry so that we're always going to show the post data. And now let's go here and cancel that, restart it, and we're going to go back in here, refresh the page. We have the database listing back, and now let's just type in Matt, and we're going to hit submit. And now we have Matt. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is a proof of concept. This is just to kind of show you the possibilities of using a VPC in your organization. It's a great idea to always have separation of concerns. So if you have a front end that's just serving the web traffic with requests, and it has limited access to the things that it needs while having no access to the things that it doesn't. That's one of the great things about this. Now, MongoDB has like file uploading that you can handle with the database. And the great thing about this is that VPCs don't have any bandwidth restrictions. So You don't have to like receive information from a client and then send it over the public internet to something like an S3 storage option, which would basically double the amount of bandwidth that whatever that upload used. This, you could send it right to the database. It could be put in, and it would only require using the initial upload bandwidth rather than counting against it by sending that data onto some other way of storing that information. This is just such a great way to set things up. This is how I like to have my organization infrastructure set up as well. I run a company, and having things separated and having a limited attack surface, keeping things that don't need internet access off the internet, that's a big deal. So let me know, do you use VPCs in your organization? How do you do that? How do you execute on the separation of concerns? Let me know in the comments below. Don't leave anything too proprietary down there, but you know what I'm saying. And don't forget to use the link below to sign up and get free credit towards your new Linode account. That's going to do it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.